on a video, which was the idea. Now you can see better what I'm trying to explain. Here you will see the sun. Here is the moon aligned exactly opposite our Earth. And we're looking from the top, from the North Pole view. So as this moon will go around, will be the different phases which you can see here. So Vishal, if you can please play. So at the moment you see the dark, you can't see anything, that's the new moon. As it keeps on moving, the light increases because of the sun's reflection. Now a circle, as you know, is 360 degrees. So every 12 degrees it will move, will be 1 tithi, until it gets to 15 tithis, which will be behind the Earth, where you get the full moon, and then there'll be 15 more tithis waxing phase until it comes back to the new moon. So I hope you now get the idea, because it's much easier to see in this way rather than pictures. And that's what we are looking at every time we look at the moon. Ke aaj Maas che, aaj Poonam che, aaj Atham che, aaj Panchami che, and so forth. So as you saw the moon going around, now there are 12 full moons in the normal year. So if it goes around 12 times the Earth, that would be completed in 354 days, because the moon takes 29 days to go around the Earth. Whereas the Earth and Whereas you see this whole Earth and Moon complex to go around the Sun, we know takes around 365 days. But the Moon going around the Earth in 12 times is only 354. There's a difference of 11 days. Those 11 days add up. So every 3 years, approximately, which is 32 months, 16 days, we have to add them up. Otherwise, what will happen is the seasons will go out of sync. What we celebrate, when we celebrate Diwali in October, November, when we have the Holi, for example, in February, if we don't keep this calculation by adding an extra day, because every year we're losing 11 days, but if we don't add it after 2.5, 3 years, then the festivals will start occurring at different months of the year, because what we're looking at with the sun, with the Earth going around the Sun, is the solar year, which is creating the seasons, and we got to have our festivals according to the seasons. But the lunar calendar will not keep in synchronized with this, and that's why we have to add this. So the moon takes 27 days to go completely around the Earth, but since this whole satellite complex is moving, the moon actually takes 29.5 days to reach new moon again. And this one I'm going to show you in a video to make it more easy to understand. This should play now. So here you see, for one complete round to the new moon, is 27 days, but now the Earth is going to move. So here is 27 days, but it's still not the new moon. it takes 2 more days to reach opposite the sun to give a new moon. So the lunar month is 29.5 days, although the Earth has rotated already in 27.5 days, because the whole thing is moving. I hope that was understandable. So we have 29.5 days for the lunar month, and since it goes round 12 times like this, here you'll see the moon going round. Every time it becomes directly opposite is the Maas. And in a minute you'll see another loop which will show every time this curve happens here is the new moon. Now imagine this is going around the sun. In 365 days there will be just 12 new moons, but we are 11 days short, and if it keeps on going without adjusting the calendar, as I said, the seasons will get out of sync. So these loops are the new moons, and there will be 12 of them. But the Earth still has not completed the whole round, because we have solar calendar, so it takes 11 more days for the Earth to make a full circle. This 11-day difference is how Adhik Maas is calculated, that every 3 years you get those. It's about 11 days, it's 10 point something. So you get about 30 days in a year, then added. And then also we observed astronomically that you get 2 full moons in this year, and you also get 2 Amavases in this year, which won't make sense. But since the Gregorian calendar doesn't go by the moon's tithis, for them it's not important. What they do go by is the leap year every 4 years. They have to make an adjustment because the Earth going around the sun is not actually 365, it's 365.25. So every 4 years you build up 4 quarters, you have to add an extra day, and that's why you get February 29th every 4 years. So imagine thousands of years ago, how clever the rishis were, if we're finding it quite difficult to understand. Naturally, I explained all this. So the students of 5,000 years ago wouldn't have been able to conceive this. They didn't have telescopes, they didn't have other technology we have, like video presentations and so on. So the rishis had to tell them a pleasant story of why this month is occurring and the way it is told. So they told the story of Adhik Maas to keep the seasons in sync and to explain to the people that once there was a month that suddenly appeared. See, all our months have devatas, adi devatas they're called. So the normal 12 months of the year have the adityas. These are the sons of Kashyap, Rishi and Adhik. So the 12 adityas relate to the sun. These 12 adityas ruled the normal 12 months. However, when this extra month occurred, somebody was not very happy. Actually, all the adityas were not happy with this extra month coming and encroaching on their territory. So they told him he's bad, he's dirty, he's Maas, we call it. So they said, you're unwanted, please leave. And this poor chap got very dejected and felt sad. He said, where can I go? Who can I talk to? He said, let me go to the greatest of all, to the Purshotam. So Purshotam is Lord Vishnu. And he went to Lord Vishnu crying that, Lord, everybody is given a title, everybody is given an ownership of a month. I am a nobody and they're making an outcast of me. Please help me, I plead with you, do something for me, and how can this be resolved? Lord Vishnu thought about it and then took pity and said, you know what? Let those 12 adityas keep their own months' rulerships. I am going to make you under me, so I shall be your ruler. I shall be your Adi Devata. And what better to have than the Purna Purshotam, the universal Lord himself, to be your ruler. So immediately, Maas's status got highly elevated, highly promoted to the supreme month. So in this way, the rishis told the story to explain what I just went through with the technicalities, which is both interesting. So he gave him the name Purshotam Maas, and then Lord Vishnu said that anybody who does any merits through any good deeds, japa mantras, any austerities, tapasya, vrats, fasting, various things, they can be acquired within this month, which they don't have to do during the other months. So since then, as I said, he became known with the new title of Purshotam Maas, and had a greater significance than anybody else. So it's considered highly auspicious, as I mentioned. Purush means the eternal being. Uttam means the highly regarded greatest description of Sri Krishna Bhagavan, Lord Vishnu. And is considered the best for spiritual cleansing through fast, prayer, charity, and reciting the Bhagavad Puran, reciting the Gita, and doing recital of the various granths and holy scriptures that we have been provided in our Margya, our Pushti Margya. You see, we have all the time, 12 months, say for 2.7 years. You can do whatever you want, more or less. They are loaded by the 12 Adityas, like Aryaman and Mitra and Savitra and so on. So this allows us to do our material things. However, the Purshotam Maas, this extra month, is loaded by Mahavishnu himself. So what he's saying is that during this month, it is better that you don't do your regular things. You have every day to do it. So why not, during this occasion, do what you are born for, what we are all born for, is to try and reach back to the Supreme, to merge with the Supreme and be residing close to Lord Krishna. So this is the month we're given privilege to progress, become divinely spiritual. And the vrat, whether you do fasting or reading, reciting scriptures, it begins from the first day after Amavasya, which I showed was 16 June. 15 June was the Amavasya. So it begins from Amavasya to Amavasya. We have 30 days for self-development, self-evaluation, self-reflection. It's a time for spiritual growth. You know, we can think about where have we come from, what have we achieved according to our age and status in life. Maybe you've completed your studies, you've completed your career even, you've built your house, you have your properties, you have your children, even the children are married. Then what? What is there remaining? Because at the end of the day, everything is going to go. We are going to go, and nothing you can take with yourself. All this money and wealth that people crave for, it's only temporary. The relationships we have, the relations we have, the relatives we have, it's all temporary. As Lord Krishna explains quite clearly in the Gita, that nothing will remain. See, I mentioned earlier that he is the Kal Purush. Because what does that mean? He said the only thing that is constant and that shall remain is the Kal, the time. Everything else is perishable. Everything comes and goes. 60 million years ago, we had dinosaurs, they came and went. We had various civilizations and powers ruling the earth. They all came and went. And one by one, we will all come and go. What remains, what is imperishable, is the time, which means the Kal Purush, which means Lord Krishna. He says, I am imperishable. I am always existing. So all these things we can reflect about during this month. Because what is the next road? Where should we be going? So it's a good time to prepare for this. You know, if we have lots of wealth and money, imagine you had a golden palace and you have all the luxuries and comforts and vehicles and jewelry and anything you want, you've got it. There's only one problem here. You'll be the only person in the world. How would you then feel about all your wealth, all our riches, all the 5-star facilities of your mansion? It will be of no use. And the reason is why? I mean, this is the kind of thing one can think about. Because when we have something, we always want to show it. It's called the pride. It's only when I buy my new Rolls Royce and drive down the street and 50 people look at me, that will make me happy. If I drove on my own and there was nobody in the world, what is the point? So really, it is our own pride that is holding us back, and we are hankering after these material things only because other people can see and say, "Areva, well done, you have so much, achieved so much." But it makes no sense if there is nothing there. So in a similar way, we've only got, as I said, a few years on this planet. If we're lucky, we can live up to 120 years, according to some people have lived longer, very few. But as you know what I'm trying to say, we've got a very short time. So this is what Purshotam Bhagavan is teaching, and during this month we can start thinking and introspecting about life's actual meaning and what we should achieve, and how we can get back to reside and do seva to live with Lord Krishna for us Vaishnavas. Even in this scripture called the VSUK Puran, where Krishna Bhagavan himself says that anybody who performs this vrat through the sole aim of worshipping him, of doing his seva, of being attached to him. In the beginning I started with the Mahayogin mantra, where all my Govinda, Paramananda, all the pleasures and everything for me are only you and nothing else. So he's saying here, if you do everything without any kamya icha, without any material desires, then even without asking, all calamities will be overcome. Even during this holy month, we say sometimes, we have various doshas, which is due to our karma. And those doshas can also be overcome by performing various pujas, rituals, sevas, mantra, japas. You see, there was a time when Uddhavji, Lord Krishna's close friend, asked him, what is all this? Why you could have stopped the people from gambling and then this war would not have happened. You could have stopped Draupadi from the beginning, from the Chirhavan. So why didn't you intervene earlier? And Lord Krishna replies to him, my dear friend, I am always with you. I am the witness standing beside you. Now, the other people did not ask me to help. In fact, they wish I don't enter the hall where they're going to gamble. He didn't even want me there, so how could I do anything? So Uddhav then asked them, why did you come late to help Draupadi? He said, I was always there, but it was only later that she called upon me. And then, of course, I had to come and help. So in this way, he is with us all the time. We don't need to ask anything. All he wants is our prem, our love. So during this period of Maas, as I said, we can do mantras, we can do so many things. We can do dana. Dana, it means charity. Now, charity is in many forms. You can give to the school, you can give vidya dan, you can give for education purpose, you can give to the poor, you can feed the poor, you can give vastra dan, provide clothes for the needy people. So in the Devi Bhagavad, it says also that charitable and meritorious deeds done during this Maas inevitably produce results, even though, as I mentioned and repeat, we don't need to ask for it. It's just like I learned a story earlier this morning where we can bribe the child to take the medicine and say, I'll give you a chocolate if you take this tablet quickly. So in this way, we don't need to, Bhagavan is saying, don't do this just to have the chocolate, just do it out of love and affection, and have no attachment for it, for the fruits, for the results, because they will inevitably come. So coming back to the Uddhav story, Lord Krishna explains, I don't do anything, I'm only a witness. Everybody suffers and enjoys their own karmas. So it is the karmas that we have performed in past lives is what is bringing out in this life. So now we have the free will during this life to choose different karmas, positive karmas, like doing these vrats and upayas and remedies and being nice and friendly and helpful and so many things which have been prescribed in our shastras. Because what we have come with, we really can't get rid of. We can reduce them by doing again the upayas mentioned. They will automatically reduce. It's like if it's going to be a thunderstorm, God cannot stop the storm, but at least He can warn you, look, take proper precautions, take your umbrella, and at least you'll be protected, you won't get wet. So in a similar manner, we can do so many things. So Vidya Dhan, giving books to schools, education, Vidya, coming to the Satsang and getting Vidya, that's also a great karma because you're taking something which is positive. And even if you do a little bit, like the giant banyan trees comes out from a little seed, even one little charitable act done during this Purshotam Maas produces manifold results. So coming back to this karma, I would just like to explain when Lord Krishna says to Uddhav that I cannot intervene, it is everybody's karma. They have been given the free will to do what they want. They all want to come back here, so we all keep on coming back and enjoying and then going through the same things. I'm mentioning this, as I said in the beginning, I'm no professional teacher, I'm not a preacher, I'm on the same path suffering as everyone. But you know, what I've learned, I'm trying to convey. So these karmas do not let go of anyone, and this is the whole principle of our Dharma Shastra. The great thing is, it's all in our control. Bhagavan was so willing and kind that He gave us all the facilities to do as we wish. The karma is like, as I said, the karma that we bring into this life, we don't have control because it's been performed before. It's like when you go on a holiday, let's say to sunny Florida, and you take your luggage with you from London and you land in Miami or Orlando. Then it's beautiful, it's sunshine, and you get tempted by all those luxury factory outlet malls and so on. So you start buying new things. Now, you've got your old luggage. Maybe you'll get rid of some old t-shirts or dress or something and acquire a new one. But which new one to buy? Shall I buy the really cheap one? Or shall I buy the expensive branded one, which is too expensive? Or shall I just go for the very good quality, higher price, better stitching? So accordingly, we make our own choices. If I want to earn money, I've got two choices normally. I can go and rob somebody or rob a bank, or I can study and work hard and hopefully my work will pay off. So similarly, the karmas we've brought, we can only let go of some of them, the others we have to endure. But we have the free will to choose, what am I going to purchase now? Which action shall I take? And that free will Bhagavan has given us, and that is what He explained to Uddhav when He said that it's everybody's own doing, but anytime you call me, I shall be there to safeguard you. So Dhan, as I said, is an important aspect of Dharma. It can be giving anything, it can be feeding. Now, of all the Dhan, the Jal Dhan and Ann Dhan is known as the highest Dhan. Of course, during these months in India, you can imagine how scorchingly hot it is. So giving Jal is very, very highly regarded to save, to help people. Amongst the vastra and umbrella and slippers and so on, people give so many things one can do. Then there is Ann Dhan, which is probably the highest Dhan. The word actually Dhan comes from Ann, because long time ago, before there was any monetary currency, the only trade we could do was barter with dhanya, with the grains and the crops. And hence from that word dhanya comes the Dhan, which we call wealth. Because what we have as wealth is food, is the prime importance. As I mentioned about living alone in your golden palace when there's nobody around. Now imagine if you don't even have food. You can't eat those gold coins. You can't swallow those diamonds like pills. The Ann is the most important. And the other reason the Ann Dhan is so vital and important is because food satiates a person. It gives them satisfaction. If you were to donate, say, £1,000 for your school, they'll say, thank you very much, and then they'll come back and say, oh, by the way, we're building an extension, can I have a further £5,000? If you give clothes to somebody, they say, thank you very much, but my family needs some more, and can I have an extra shirt as well? Whatever we give will never have an end, but when you can feed somebody, give them with sincere heart a hearty, filling, tasty, delicious meal. They'll be so full you won't even be able to push another laddu inside his mouth. So that's why the andan is the highest dan, because the person will always go back fully satiated and satisfied. You can do feeding birds, feeding animals, feeding birds in your garden in London. In India it's very easy because everywhere there are crows and dogs going around and kabutar badehoi and so on. And godan, of course, is the highest form of feeding animal, is godan. And feeding Brahmins. Brahman, of course, to find the right Brahmin and the right organization is important. But you can, I found you can do 2 in 1. You can do Vidyadan and Brahmandan in one go. In India, there are many gurukulas where young students, like in the picture here, they're all studying the Vedas. And it's all over there. It's in Gujarat, it's in Maharashtra, it's in South India. So feeding these young student Brahmins, you get Ek Tirthin Deshika. So you can do Vidyadan as well as Brahmandan. So basically, any selfless action without expectation of results are to be performed during the Adhik Maas. And so we eat all the sattvic food, we do various upvases, which we'll come into. It's important to know that this, scientifically, for astronomical reasons, this Adhik Maas will only come between the months of Chaitra, which is normally around April, to Aso or Ashwin month. So it's the 1 month where for Pushti Marga Vaishnavas we are given the benefit that during this 1 month it is the fully condensed power, the quality of time. As I mentioned, the Rishi said everything has a quality, and if we go according to that quality, which another word for it is called Murat. So we have Murats, we look at Chogadiyas, we look at what is the nice Murat for the wedding, what is the nice Murat for opening my business or Graha Pravesh, we look at Murats. So this Murat is of a whole month where we can condense Adhik Seva. We can do extra throughout the month. Every kind of Seva that you wish. As I mentioned earlier, we can do it. And Sri Mahaprabhuji has established the Pushti Marga Seva Parampara, where we can do so many different types of adoration for our Thakurji. So usually the Pushti Marga Vaishnavas will perform according to the tithi during the year, the different festivals, all during this 1 month. So for example, on the 3rd tithi, there's Thakurani Teej, then there is Chirhalan Leela, there is Makhan Chori Leela. And it is so extensive, I advise you or suggest that you can go to some Pushti Marg websites where there is an intricate, detailed information for every kind of seva to perform. So when we get the next Ekadashi, which we'll come to in a minute, there is the famous Pushti Dan Ekadashi, that can be done. So all those various utsavas are condensed in 1 month, which normally takes a year. So the devotees get extra pleasure in doing the seva all within 1 month. So every day you can do everything, and it will be heartily welcomed, and we will gain the grace and krupa of the Lord because we have been given this special opportunity. Now I talked a lot about what we have to do. There are some suggestions what we should not do. Now this is not a hard and fast rule, but generally it is said that we should not do anything which is of material benefit for ourselves. As I had explained earlier, this Purshotam Maas is devoted to Lord Purshotam. When he took that Maas and said, come under my shelter, and everybody said, oh no, this is Purshotam. So when we are residing with Lord Purshotam, then we don't need to think about doing something for our self-interest. So whether it is getting married or buying a new house or buying new jewelry and so on and so on. Because this month, as I said, is not ruled by any of the 12 Adityas, which do provide and facilitate the material aspirations and material benefit, is ruled by Purshotam. which is not for material things. We say many times, Bhagwan naam bol do toi kem na lotri agati. You see, Bhagwan naam they say we want, it's for the purpose of going to Bhagwan. It's not for the material benefits. Also, to drive the point further, this month is totally dedicated for respect and honor of Lord Purshotam, and hence the reason. Obviously, we do our daily routines and daily chores, and if you're in business, you get a new customer, you can't tell him to go away. You have to do all those things, but it's not to do extravagant things for self-pleasure and self-benefit. Now, I mentioned respect and honor. This is something that we Indians used to a lot. I remember in London, nowadays it's changed. When we go to a wedding, do we really respect that marriage ceremony? There's 500 or 1,000 of us there. The Brahmin is chanting something nobody can hear, even the bride and groom can't hear, because everybody is chatting away and having their own gossiping and chatting and satsangs in the background. So, in the same way, we are not respecting and honoring this holy wedding ceremony, whereas the Western culture, in particular, I know more about Christians, so you saw yesterday how Prince Harry's and Meghan's wedding was, and how much respect there is, and how much focus and attention is given there. But we, unfortunately, sometimes don't do that. So this month is for giving that respect. In the same way that if JJ is giving pravachan for 6 hours and we don't focus or concentrate and talk about our Lokik things, it's not giving respect. So in this way, this month is for giving respect to Lord Purshotam. That is the point I'm trying to make. There is no sin, we are not going to be punished, but you know yourself that it doesn't feel right if you don't give the respect. Similar to the Shraddh period that will happen when we give 15 days respect to our ancestors. In remembrance of ancestors, we have to perform the various Shraddh rituals. So it's not that if you did some material activity on that time that, oh no, it's going to be end of the world and you won't get anything and you'll be punished. No, it's just a matter of giving the respect and honor to those, to our Pitrus during that time. So I just mentioned all of this. No worldly gains, no fasting with some desire of getting something and so forth. So there are some dates we can do now. It's a 30-day period, and I can honestly say myself, I'm not able to do 30 days of anything much. So I'm taking this opportunity to give a talk, and hopefully that's some of my activity. But there are some days we can do, the very auspicious special dates, like the Agyanas Tithi, like the Ashtami Tithi of Lord Krishna's birth. So I'm going to explain for whether it is for health reasons or self-discipline reasons, but we can do something, a little something. And it's said that during this month, it's just a story, but they say that these Rakshasas known as Nairuta are dominating, and they will swallow up any kamya desires, kamya phal rather. So any fruits that we want, but by doing something, by doing a vrat, and say, I'll do this vrat if I will get this, then they will swallow up that and we won't get it. It's a story which explains it. Again, that we should just focus and respect and honor the Lord Purshotam himself. So here are a few dates that we can perform. So these are the key dates that if one is not able to do all the 30 days, do something. Of course, you are all highly qualified, you are all highly advanced, otherwise you would not be here. You already have the kavach of Lord Purshotam. We all do our sevas, we all do our jap mantras, and we are already graced with that and Thakotini Kripache. But it's for people who are not, and especially a lot of our youngsters who don't know, we are a big community. We are probably 70, 80 people here, and there's many tens of thousands. So everybody does it in their own way. But here are the days that we can particularly do, is the Ashtami on 22nd May and 7th June. So both Ashtamis. Then you have the both Navamis, which is Ram Bhagwan's birthday, 23rd May and 8th June. Then you have the Ekadashis, 25th, 26th June, and 10th and 11th June. They go like over, so it's either day you can start, depends what the sunrise is in UK. You know, in India, the Tippanis, we have that little Panchang. It's set for Indian time. We've got 5.5 hours time difference. So the Tithi will not be the same in London as it is in Bombay or Gujarat or somewhere. Purnima is another very auspicious day when the moon has full bright light. And Amavasya, as I mentioned, it's to remember the Pitrus and ancestors. And also on this 13th June Amavasya, it is the auspicious Rohini Nakshatra, which is the star in which Lord Krishna was born. As I said earlier about Jyotisha, that to understand the Vedas, we need all the 6 Vedangas. So apart from the grammar, the Shiksha, the Kalpa, the rituals, the Chanda, the meter, we also need to know Jyotisha. And if it wasn't important, then Vedyas would not have mentioned that Lord Krishna is born on Ashtami Tithi, Rohini Nakshatra, Harshana Yoga. So what are all these things? They are of importance. So on this day, it's not only Amavasya, remembering the ancestors, but it is also the nakshatra, the star, birth star of Lord Krishna, which has a significance. Then there's another day on 4th June, where the moon, as you saw in the video, goes around the earth. So when it is going around the earth, behind the moon there is some constellation. Just like if I go around this mic, now behind me, in front of me is the wall, but if I face this way, it's somebody else. So the way as the moon goes round, there are different constellations all the way going round. On that day, 4th June, the moon will be in such a position from our earthly point of view that behind is Shravana Nakshatra. Like Rohini Nakshatra, this day on 4th June is also auspicious because Shravana Nakshatra is the birth nakshatra of Vamadev, of Lord Hari Vishnu's avatar as Vamadev. See, these nakshatras and tithis, they're all part of the Panchang we have. Panchang, I just mentioned a few minutes ago. Panchang is the 5 angas, 5 limbs of how we measure time. The number 1 is the Vara, the number 2 is the Tithi, and number 3 is the Nakshatra. Then there's other things like Yoga and Karana. But these 3 things are important, the Vara, the Tithi, and the Nakshatra, and that's why the Lord is born on those days. I was hoping there were, as I said earlier, some youngsters, then I can show them some signs of why Lord Krishna is born on Ashtami and why Lord Ram is born on Navami, because they're just not any odd number. There is a mathematical concept behind it, there is a science behind it, and that's why from these numbers there comes the name of Purna Purshotam and Maryada Purshotam. So all these Purans have so much depth, so much interest, and as we go deeper and deeper, we realize there's a lot more to do than just the Shringar and just the Seva without understanding who or what we are doing for. So, am I alright for time? Yeah, it's nearly finished, don't worry. But this was an interesting thing I wanted to put, and some people will have some interest. So, Lord Krishna is born on Ashtami. The word Ashta comes from the Sanskrit Kashta, and Kasht means conflicts and battles. And you will know that Lord Krishna had a lot of conflicts and battles. Even before he's born, his siblings were killed. And then all the time he's in some kind of battle. And Ram Bhagwan, Maryada Purshotam, is born on the 9th Tithi. Now, the Tithis have qualities. Just as I said, the month has a quality, the day has a quality, the nakshatra has a quality, the Tithis have a quality. The quality of Ashtatithi is Jaya, which means victory. So even though you will have conflict and battles, you will always be victorious. And that is the life story of Lord Krishna. Whereas the 9th Tithi is something that is called having the quality of Rikta. And Rikta Tithi means no support. So 9th Tithi is a Bhari Tithi, heavy stuff. And you can see from Lord Rama's life that he had no support. No support from his mother, stepmother, no support from his father. He had to leave kingdom. Even he loses his wife Sita for a while. He regains her, and after even regaining her, he has no support from the people who put blames on her. Then he loses the wife Sita again. So these scientific meanings, actually these Puranic stories give these meanings to it. So Krishna is known as Purna Avatar, and Ram is known as Maryada Purshotam. So Purna means somebody with complete divine energy and appearing as a human avatar. Now this is the interesting thing, how and why we get the name Maryada and how Krishna is called Purna. Because in Vedic mathematics, or in any mathematics, it is known, and the Vedic rishis knew, that the number 8, Ashta, is something that is called a Kshayanka. It's a Kshayanka number, means something that is reducing. And the number 9 is called a Purna number, which is a complete number. So when you multiply anything by 9, the end result will always be 9. As you can see, 18, 1 plus 8, 9. 27, 2 plus 7, 9. So as you reduce it, anything you multiply by 9 will go at the end 999. Even 1,000,000 times 9, in the end will be 9. So this is known as a Purnanka number, 9. But Ram is a Maryada. And number 8, which is a reducing Shayanka number, is given to Krishna, who is a Purna. So there's a bit of anomaly there. And what this shows is that anything multiplied by 8, and if you go through the 8 times table, will be reducing. So 2 times 8 is 16, you'll get 7. 5 times 8 is 40, 4 plus 0 is 4. If you go down the table of 8, it'll be 876543219, 876543219, and it goes round and round and round. It is eternal. And hence, he is the Purna Purshotam, because there's nothing beyond. He is full and complete. Whereas the Maryada Purshotam has 9. There's a barrier, there's a wall. You cannot go beyond 9. So everything is 999, there's a barrier. So Lord Rama is born on the 9th Tithi, making him the Maryada Purshotam and explained by the mathematics. Whereas Lord Krishna is the Purna Purshotam, beyond everything, and he's completely revolving. It's infinite. Because it's going round and round forever and ever. And in fact, if you turn the number 8 on its sideways, that's the scientific symbol for infinity. So many vrats we can do. One of the vrats I'll just talk about is the Ayya Chitta Vrat. That means having no ichha, no desires. We can give up food, we can do other things, but having no ichha is also a difficult thing to do because we have so many desires. So many types of vows. A vrat is a vow, so we can try to have no ichha and desire, and like JJ taught us and told us that let us be satisfied with what we do have. We have our families, we have our health, we have our whatever the wealth we have our knowledge and education, we have our children, rather than hankering for more. Because in the modern world, people begin to hanker for more and more and more, and as you can see, the brand mania has taken over the world. If you don't have your Louis Vuitton handbag or Rolex watch or Mercedes Benz, then you are nothing. So, and the world is Kali Yuga, so we will always be provided by lots of temptations, and it will be never ending and never ending. So to have an Ayya Vrat, if we can perform this and carry it out throughout our life, it will be a good thing, because then you won't be... See, those things will bring not happiness, but just greed. If you hoard and hoard and hoard and collect and collect and collect, it doesn't give peace of mind. It gives a burden and it reflects greed. But when you give away and you don't hanker after things, it gives peace, which again is the principle of dana. So maybe you may wonder, why do we do dana? Why does it work? How does it work? Why, if I give something to somebody or feed the poor? We know the obvious, that it makes the other person happy, but how does it work? See, the dana is when you give away something, like your money, or feed 1,000 people, whatever you can do with your financial capacity, it means your ego is reducing. What is ego? Is the pride when we own something. So when we hoard and collect, we own so much, it doesn't give peace ultimately. But when we give it away, it makes us happy. It makes the other person or the sanstha or organization that you donate to, it makes them satisfied and happy that they can do their auspicious work. It reduces our burden and ego, because now we no longer own it and it's given away. So once we give it away, we are released from the burden, and it's all for the better for us. You can also do Maun Vrat, keeping silent, even just during your meal times or during other times of the day. So there's lots of options given for all types of people, because Bhagavan knows everybody is different and we all have different interests and different ways of doing it. There's lighting Deepa, there's taking Snan. If you're in India, you can go to the auspicious Yamuna Ghat, for example, and do things. All these things are magnified during the Adhik Maas to bring us good results. You can donate ghee to the temple. If not, you light your own diva. This is another thing carried out by Vaishnavas. But donating ghee, again, you're giving away something for seva of the Lord Krishna. And we have, in Gujarati we say Dhaina Payana, which is Dharana Parana Vrat. That means one day you do a complete fast and the next day you eat only once. So what does this Dharana Parana mean actually? So Dharana means to concentrate, to focus upon, to put your mind only on one thing, to meditate, to concentrate, which is ideally doing your japa mantra. It's a very difficult thing to do throughout the day and not eat, or eat just fruits. There's no hard and fast rule, so you can just have fruits for one day, and then the next day you have your one main meal. So one day is dharana, focus, concentrate. The next day is parana, and parana means a leaf, so it refers to vegetable food. There is another vrat known as Vishnu Panchakura. These are, from what I mentioned earlier, some of the important tithis, which is the Shravan Nakshatra day, which was 4th June, the 2 Ekadashis, Purnima and Amavasya. You can donate things in South India. It's common in Andhra Pradesh specifically. They will donate ornaments to the needy people who can't afford it. So bangles and things give donations for the young girls who will be married or of marriageable age in the future. So they give away this, giving away fruit. So it's a form of andan. And there's so many prescriptions given, like give away 33 bananas or mangoes. Again, everything has a meaning, everything has a significance. 33 is to do with the devas, the number of devas there are, and 33 is also the number of months it takes to reach Adhik Maas. So any kind of donation is good during this month, but not to do it with expectation in mind. And this will be the next Adhik Maas coming is in September 2020 in the month of Ashwin. Then in 23 will be in the Shravan Maas. So I just gave some days of the future. There is also some astronomical occurrence where we lose a month. Fortunately, that only happens every 141 years. The last time it happened was 1983, and that brings some other issues which we don't have time for now. And to conclude, what we went through today is to learn, hopefully, what is exactly Purshotam Maas, what are the astrological reasons. I hope you imbibed what I was trying to convey. What are the mythological stories and why and how they were written, what rituals and activities to perform, and how we can all benefit. So with that, I shall end this long talk.